Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. This is something brand new that I'm starting with the goal of educating people on how government auctions work. I plan to do this through regular uploads of active listings. I'll talk about the vehicle, its condition, and what I think a good bid price would be. I hope to educate folks and give them another option for buying a vehicle that they hadn't considered before. This can be a great way to save a lot of money on a good used vehicle. Over time, the format of these videos will probably change, but I wanted to get started and fine-tune from there. Please check back often for new videos. With that, let's get started. Today, we're going to be on the GSA Auctions website. That's at gsaauctions.gov. They have multiple listings available, anything from vehicles to real estate. There's a couple different ways you can get to the vehicle itself. You can just scroll down here, click on vehicles, and find it that way. If you're just looking for what's available, I already know that it's here on the site, so I'm just going to go search for Explorer and pull it up that way. You can see there's other Explorers that are for sale, but for this video, we're going to be focusing on the 2013 Ford Explorer in Brownsville, Texas. As I mentioned, this is a 2013 model. It's got 55,364 miles, so fairly low mileage for how old it is. Looking at the description here, we see that it has the 4x4 V6 3.5 liter engine. It is automatic transmission, power steering, four-wheel disc brakes, intelligent four-wheel drive, AC, power windows and locks, cruise control, electronic stability control, telescoping steering wheel, traction control, AM/FM radio, CD player, dual front impact airbags, dual front side impact airbags. And this is important here. This says here it is operable. Oftentimes you will see listings that say they are not operable, tow required, or something similar. So it's a good sign when you see that it's operable. It means you can just drive it off after you purchase. Normal wear and tear. This is a typical description that you'll get. Known deficiencies. This is something key to look for. This will be what they know is wrong with the vehicle that they're telling you up front. It's always recommended to do a self-inspection, but you can also bid without inspecting it. I've found that oftentimes these deficiencies are very upfront and they're not trying to hide anything, but at the same time, they may not tell you everything that's wrong with it. They may not know. So for these known deficiencies, cruise control not working, and front suspension needs service. So it's something to keep in mind when you're bidding against this vehicle. You want to take into account the local market conditions for a similar vehicle, but also the work that might be involved in getting it fixed. We do see that there may be unknown electrical and or mechanical issues. However, this seems like pretty standard language that they include into these posts. And you can reach out to the point of contact here. Here's his name and phone number and email. You can reach out to this person, and it will likely be different for each listing, but ask them any additional information that you may want to know. You can ask for any further condition notes or possible service records that they may have. They may not end up responding to you, but I have found that overall, these folks are pretty responsive. And if they have the information, they will provide it to you. All right, so looking at and one go back real quick here. We see that the closing time is on June 5th at noon Central Time. This time will get extended depending on the last bid submitted. I believe if the last bid submitted is within the last 10 minutes, it will extend for a further 10 minutes. I could be wrong about that, so double check the information from GSA auctions, but most likely it will close the same day. It may just not close the same time that's listed here. So keep that in mind when you're bidding. All right, let's look at the vehicle. Something to note right off the bat is that we see these pictures are dated October 16th from 2020. So that may be something else that you want to reach out to the point of contact about, is to find out if they have any more recent pictures. But if we scroll through these pictures, it can give you a really good idea about condition of the vehicle. Looking at the interior, do you see any stains? Do you see any wear and tear? Do you see any damage? Just looking at these pictures, granted they are from October, these look pretty good. The condition looks like it's in definitely not abused or or damaged. It looks like it's in normal condition. It actually looks in really good condition. Looking at the body, I don't see anything that jumps out at me in terms of body lines. There, it doesn't seem to be any misalignment. I don't see any major dents. I don't see any major scratches. The paint and the body look decent. They look good. Of course, this is just a picture, so, and it's a dated picture at that. So self-inspection is always suggested, but you can also submit a lower bid if you do not do an inspection, planning that you may have more repairs that are unknown based on the listing to account for any costs that you may have. Let me go back one. So something else you can reach out to the POC about is the tread wear. It's good to know how much life is left on the tires. These look like they're pretty decent in terms of tread. I can actually see that it's pretty thick still, but again, reach out to the point of contact. They will provide that information if they have it. They'll give you a tread depth remaining. All right, so here's the front dash. Something I see right here. This is a walkie-talkie or something that's been mounted to the dash. So something to keep in mind is that a lot of times equipment is installed on these vehicles, and when they remove it, you may have a small hole from the screw that went into the dash. So something to keep in mind. This may have a small hole in this vicinity. Again, the condition looks good. I don't see any knobs missing down here. I don't see any knobs missing up here. Everything looks like it's in pretty good condition. And this is the back view. Now we haven't seen the other side of the vehicle, and this is image 7 out of 7. So again, reach out to the point of contact, see if you can get some more pictures. As much information as you can get prior to the bidding close, the better. You want to be armed with as much information as you can have, so that you can make a wise bidding decision against this. All right. So if we go to some market research, we can pull that up right now. I looked to see similar, actually the same year and similar trim. The post did not specify this, but I believe this is the base model trim. And looking at this, I did a nationwide search. You can narrow down your search to the general vicinity of the vehicle, or you can use your own location if you want to get a better idea of what the market around you is pricing these vehicles at. But you can see there's quite a few vehicles that are the same make and model and year. And surprisingly, quite a few of these actually have less miles than the one posted. So we're at about 55,000 miles for the one posted, and I'm seeing a lot of these have in the 30s and 40s. So keep that in mind when you're looking at your market conditions. So just going through these, I'm seeing that there's basically a range. We have 16,990 here, so we'll say 17 all the way to, I've seen as high as like 23. I believe I've seen a 24 or $25,000 model. So if we're looking at 17 to 24, you want to go on the low end of that scale. Okay, so let's say 17 is our amount that we could buy a similar model at in the marketplace. So obviously when you're bidding, you do not want to go up to 17,000. Otherwise, you might as well just buy it from this dealer at less miles, assuming you're close enough. Now, obviously, if you're on the other side of the country, you may not want to do that. But this is just for an example that you don't want to go up to 17,000 for your bid. I typically submit my bid at 30% off. So in this case, that would be about $12,000. So $12,000 would be the most that I would want to bid for this particular vehicle. Okay. So once you have that in mind, you'll submit your bid and try to win the auction. If you guys want to check back after the 5th, I'll post a follow-up video to show where this actually ended. And let's just look real quick on who has bid so far. So far we only have 7 bidders. And you can see that it's incrementally going up. But again, the max that I would bid for this vehicle is $12,000. That gives me a good discount off of what I could buy retail, off of a dealer. And if I were to win this vehicle, I would know there'd be enough margin there to fix a lot of things that might be wrong with it and still come out ahead. All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I plan to make many of these vehicle videos. I want to educate you guys on alternative options for buying vehicles. And I just want to pump out a lot of these videos to give you a sense of what the government auctions and what type of vehicles you can buy. All right, guys. Thanks.